Come in. Oh,
Hello, Joseph, is it?
hi, Dr. Zapata. Yes, Joe. How are you?
I'm well. What seems to be the problem, Joe?
Well, I'm having difficulty drawing from imagination.
Oh, Joseph, just so you know, that's totally normal. Why don't you tell me a little more about your problem? Is it that you can only draw from imagination if you're completely alone?
Doc, I can't ever draw from imagination.
What about if you're completely relaxed?
When I'm totally relaxed, I can't imagine a thing.
I see. Joseph, it's important to know that even with severe cases like this, there's always hope. I can prescribe an experimental therapy called Form from Imagination.
Form from imagination?
It's early days, but clinical trials are extremely promising. Why don't you try this for 6 months and then check back in with me?
Okay, I'll do whatever it takes. Did you just draw this?
Oh yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. Hey, Doc, do you ever have trouble drawing from imagination?
Oh no.
You wouldn't. I mean, you drew this.
That's right.
Wow.
Form from Imagination is an experimental therapy and is not yet approved for use by the FDA. Do not use Form from Imagination if you are already taking any prescriptions for drawing from reference, working side size, or tracing photos you didn't even take. Stop taking Form from Imagination if you experience any of these side effects: loss of interest in your personal projects, megalomaniacal self-confidence, hallucinations, unless they're the kind you're hoping for, drawing better than Steven Zapata, or feelings that purchasing the course was enough and you don't really need to do the exercises. Call your doctor if you have stiff gestures, flat forms, or boring ideas to address a possible life-threatening condition. Full sketchbooks have been reported with Form from Imagination and medicines like it. Other risks include long-term art careers, too many clients, and being worth more than you're charging for. Call your doctor today and ask about Form from Imagination. Yo. Hello, humans. I probably sound like I am in a tin can, I'm going to assume. It's really hot in here. I was just running around cleaning this place up after doing a bunch of work, so I'm blasting the air conditioner for a few minutes to cool it down in here. And once it cools down a bit, I'll turn it off and reduce this insane noise reduction I have on here. Until then, I'm going to keep my head down. And draw quietly for a little bit. Hello to A, who says ahoy. Hello to Art Dad. Hello to Chuck, Tuo, Samang Kucher, Akachi. Catherine Dame. Hello, Catherine. How are you? Good to see you, Cat. Johnny the Artsy Fart. Did I say hi to Chuck? Chuck. And Air Temptress. Air Temptress. Do I sound like I'm in a tin can? I think so. I probably sound really wild. Sorry about that. Rocky Macabre says, what's with the hair, though? What is with the hair? That's just my hair? Those are just my natural flowing locks. Oh man, sorry. I'm playing with my lighting setup and all that, and I'm getting really strong glare on this drawing. But there's really only so much you can do with graphite. You know the best way to help me emotions when become frustrated with not getting what I want when drawing? Basically, my whole channel is dedicated to that. I would, if you're really just struggling with negative emotion in general, I would recommend going back to the first 30 or so videos on this channel and watching those. They're short, like 10 to 15 minute drawing meditations that you're meant to do while drawing. And there I try to take you step by step through what's going on when you experience intrusive thoughts while drawing. If you go way back to the beginning of the channel, the first like 30 to 40 videos are like that. They're also in a playlist called Drawing Meditations, so you can go open that playlist and then watch it from oldest to newest. Sounds regular in my headphones. Okay, that's good news. I do have the noise reduction dialed all the way up, so it definitely is distorted, but maybe you won't be able to tell until you hear it turned off. Ivan Olea says, funny, I love the intro. Never thought of learning as a prescription. Interesting. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've got the medicine. I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse my behavior. Sometimes I'm just set up for things like that. And, well, you know, life is short. You've only got a few decades to take your pot shots. I'm getting a centaur or something. Yeah. I wasn't planning on it, but I think this is a centaur. Hello, Sami. How am I doing? I'm good. Which paper are you using? This is Strathmore 400 series bristle paper smooth. D says he's got a wedding ring. Who married him with that hair? LOL.
Hey man, you better watch it. You better watch how you're talking to me. I'm pretty important around here. This is my channel. You can't talk to me that way. I'm kind of a big deal around here. It's my name on the sign out front. Do you have any idea who I am?
Chuck says, Steven, I'm so glad you're doing a graphite drawing. Me too, Chuck. Me too. Lucky to be alive and doing drawings. Hey, Steven, have you tried drawing with Stadler graphite pencils? Yeah, I got one right there. I've been using them for years. The ones that are like holders that hold onto sticks of graphite instead of being wooden or mechanical. Oh, I do have those too. And I used to use them a lot. I actually might have one in this bag. Not in this bag, but yeah, I've used those. They were never like a main standby for me. To me, I really felt like I got the same results as with a mechanical pencil, and I just always preferred this one because I had the most mileage with it. But those are, I think they're technically called lead holders, right? Those are great tools. Hi, Leela. Steven, have you considered the 2 ribcage problem with centaurs? Of course. That's all I think about. Day by day, hour by hour, thought by thought, pound for pound, there's nothing I think about more than the 2 ribcage problem with centaurs. Miles says, "Hi, Stephen. I struggle to do my own pictures because I feel I have nothing to say or new to draw. Do you have any experience with this?" You're just tired. That's what I would say. I mean, you're probably right. You probably are correct that you have no new experiences. So go get some. Doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. Thami says, "Man, I love that when you play with the shapes of the human body anatomically and make monsters out of them. I also like to do these kinds of sketches. It's a lot of fun." Oh, it's absolutely addictive. I've been doing it my whole life. It is just way too fun. Way too fun. Too fun. Ain't it like 3 a.m. over there? No. It's 8:20 p.m. in beautiful New York City. I spent the day reorganizing the studio, finished painting that back wall back there, doing a bunch of changes around here. Tried to plan out how I'm going to do my next workshop. And by the end of the day, I was toast. Now I'm sneaking in some drawing. I am really tired right now, but it's always nice to get in a little bit of drawing. You never regret it, you know? "Can you draw Kuma from One Piece, please?" I'm sorry, but I don't know who Kuma is. I'm sorry. And I don't really do requests on the stream. It's just not my thing. I like to just draw random things on stream. Keeps it relaxed. Constantine says, "Hi, Stephen. What pencils are good that don't leave burnishing on paper, sheen, and mostly is black? Also, are white chalks good for highlights on paper?" On white paper, white chalk is no good. All graphite pencils are going to leave some amount of glare, but They do make high carbon graphite pencils now that are usually marketed with the word matte in them. Like Stadler has a line. I think it's like they call it the Lumograph Black line. Pitt. Is it Pitt or Faber? I should have one in here. Faber-Castell makes the Pitt Graphite Matte. That's what this is. I don't know if you can read the name there. Pitt Graphite Matte. So these are high carbon graphite pencils that are supposedly less shiny, but they still have shine. They're not zero shine. You're going to get glare with everything. It's just the way graphite is. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Don't resist it. You can avoid a lot of glare if you alter your technique. If you do a lot of layers and you press very carefully on the paper. And it's not about pressure. It's like literally the way that you rub the tooth of the paper. If you come at it a particular way, you can avoid some amount of glare. I personally have never liked that because I don't like changing the way I draw. I just want to draw the way that I naturally draw. And yeah, I would just prefer to not let something like avoiding glare like make me draw different and make me not put down certain kinds of lines and not press as hard as I want. I just don't care about burnishing the paper. Don't worry about shine. That way I feel free to just like, you know, if I want to get a dark line down here, I don't have to be afraid. I'll just press as hard as I can and get a dramatic line there. And it's like being able to get that dramatic, thick to thin, very light to very dark line, that's much more important to me than avoiding glare. That's not really that big of a deal. Saman says, Steven, is it true you New Yorkers have to fight rats every now and then to show them who belongs to the surface world? Well, I wouldn't recommend fighting a rat because they'll probably win. We do have to tangle with them. I guess I did. I mean, I guess I technically fought a rat once because one climbed up my back at the park and I grabbed him off my back and I flung him across the park. So that's a brief fight, but I guess it was a physically violent altercation between me and the rat. So I guess that counts as a fight. Guess that counts as a fight. Every now and then. Man, I started answering that question like, someone's trying to be funny. Obviously, New Yorkers don't fight rats. And then as my answer went on, I was like, shit, I fought a rat once. I did have to fight a rat. Sucks, man. Oh, it just sucks. All right, I'm going to turn off the AC now and see if I can bear it. How you doing, pup? All right. I should sound less distorted now, yes? More normal now, yes? And am I loud enough? I'm somewhere in that range. Other stuff I almost draw in a little sketchbook. Go for the big size is a good idea. I have a couple really big sketchbooks. I like them, but my preferred size is just letter size, 8.5 by 11 sketchbook. New York has dishonored the rats. Oh, God. Constantina says, I remember being in Bryant Park a long time ago, drawing seated down and a yellow caterpillar with hairs slowly climb my leg. That was scary. Man, I'll take a caterpillar over a rat any day. They're big. I live in a neighborhood with notoriously big rats. A couple weeks ago, I was walking my dog before bed. I swear to God. It wasn't like on my block. It was like 2 blocks over, but I swear to God, I've seen a lot of rats. I live in New York City. I've lived here most of my life. I was born here. I've seen a lot of rats. The rat that I saw dart between this Veterans Association and the pile of garbage that they had put out was the biggest rat I've ever seen. It was the biggest rat. It looked like you could cook it for Thanksgiving dinner. It was huge. I've seen enough rats. I don't startle at how big they are. I assume all rats are big at this point. I see a rat probably every day or every other day. And they're not remarkable. I just say rat. I don't go in that direction. It takes a lot for me to be like, whoa, I think that's the biggest rat I've ever seen. You may have seen Splinter. Yeah, maybe. You could leash this rat and walk it. It was tremendous, substantial. Could definitely fight my dog. Oh, this rat? Biggest rat I ever seen, I swear to God. Could have fought my dog. I mean it. Oh, shut up. We're comparing rats over here. There's a slight, tiny, minuscule humming buzzing that the mic is picking up. Yeah, that's probably my lights. That's always there. I usually play a little bit of music in the background to mask that, but I'm just not feeling music today. My lights always make that sound. I should replace them. But I don't know, maybe all soft boxes have these little fans in them that... I actually don't think it's like a buzzing from the light. I think it's, they have like a little fan in them. I don't know, maybe it's an electrical buzz. I wonder if I bought better ones, if they wouldn't make that noise. Taylor says, hey, Stephen, been taking your class for the past couple of months. Awesome. Thank you. I just got done with geoforms. Loving the class so far and can't wait to use what I've learned. Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. Congratulations on getting through the geoforms. It's a lot of work. You should be proud of yourself. And yeah, apply it. Apply, apply, apply. Don't forget what I say in the opening videos of Form from Imagination. Keep doing your work. Always be applying. Eli says, Steven, something you mentioned on your Discord that I've been thinking about for a while was about deactivating the copying part of your mind. Would you be able to speak on that pretty please? Deactivating the copying part of your mind. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. I don't know what I don't remember what I said about on my Discord, but just in general, usually when I'm talking about that, it's me telling people that if they really want to work from imagination, they need to spend a lot of time like just looking at their drawing. So put the references away. That doesn't mean don't ever look at references, but like you can literally make time to stare at a reference for like 15 minutes. Just start a timer, right? I tell people all the time, get a timer that you keep on your desk, right? I'm big on using timers. Just set a timer for 15 minutes. Do you have 15 minutes? You can't spare 15 minutes for your art? It's all right. Just take 15 minutes and just look at your reference and just try to memorize it in your head. Like try to really look at it, really internalize it without drawing, right? You don't have to do this forever. It's just an exercise, right? And then put it away and then draw for 2 hours, right? So you really observed it. You know, you kind of know from staring at it what you're going for, but you can't copy it. And instead just look at your drawing and evaluate what your drawing needs. That is what drawing from imagination is. And interestingly, unless you pointedly do that, for a lot of people, they'll go their whole art career where they are never actively evaluating just what the drawing needs. They will always be comparing the drawing to a reference, that is to say, copying, right? So even if they're making changes, even if they're editing things, even if they're quite advanced and they're sort of running the reference through a different lens and things like that, it's always like, all right, I made this line And now let me look at the reference and remind myself, like, is this more far out than the truth in the reference? Is it tighter than the truth in the reference? Is it more dynamic, less dynamic? They're always making that kind of evaluation. And they never really just stare at the drawing for 4 hours and say, well, what would make this cooler? You know, that's a very different part of your brain, a different part of your visual processing than copying. Yeah. I might have been coming at it from another angle, but usually when I'm talking about that topic, that's what I'm discussing with people. I remember seeing you in a camper van interview on a YouTuber's channel. That would be Christian Knees, probably in New Jersey where the guy was traveling. That was on the Sketchy Van podcast with Christian. And it was not in New Jersey, it was where I used to live. Omar says, Stephen, would you ever consider making the legs of the centaur sexy or high-heeled? Thanks. I would consider it. I don't know if I'll do it, but I would consider it. Omar, my soft boxes are humming. Is it because I don't think they're fluorescents. I think they're LEDs when I bought them. They're cheap LEDs in there. Do LEDs hum? I don't know. But yeah, they're LEDs. Is it that the light is humming, or is it that they have little fans in there? Because I feel like they're fans, because sometimes when I move them around, I hear things whirring up and down. But that could still be just an electrical hum. And am I only hearing that because they're cheap? If I bought more expensive ones, are like better ones silent? Do they not make any noise, or do they all make noise? Mohammed says, hey, Stephen, do you have any tips on not overcomplicating the form, yet adding details and areas for the viewer's eye to rest at? The number one reason that people overcomplicate their forms is because they can't render low contrast curvature. If you learn how to do that, if you learn how to compress the value changes on a curve, you'll be able to do anything with form. Very helpful, Omar. Thank you. Because everybody in chat is saying they can hear the hum and it's louder than my voice and that it's super distracting. And that they can't enjoy the stream because the hum from my lights is so overpowering. And that they would prefer it if I scream so that they could actually hear what I'm saying. And that they go to sleep and they think about the hum. They think, God, that hum is too much. I can't rest. Me, I can't sleep because I just think about the hum is a great shame of mine. I'm like, how could I leave that hum there? Hello, Colin. Johnny L says, new here. Could you possibly give me a little roadmap on how to draw like you? I love your art. Oh, thank you, Johnny. It would be hard. The roadmap, I don't know. I don't want to get too philosophical on you because I spend a lot of time doing that on this channel. But, you know, the true answer is that the roadmap is my whole life, right? You can't really draw like other people, right? You can kind of imitate other people for a while, but if you're trying to imitate people who are on a very high level, it really never works. You know, you can't actually draw to the same level as like Frank Frazetta or Kim Jong-gi or anybody else who has found a very high level, right? And yes, I am directly comparing myself to them. If you heard me saying that and you were like, how dare Stephen even reference them when he's trying to talk about what he did? Yeah. Whatever. What? Find me at a convention and fight me. All right, like I was saying, you can't really draw like other people, right? Because the way that every individual draws is based on everything that they tried, everything that they succeeded at, everything that they failed at, everything that they wanted to do but couldn't quite do, all of the compromises that they made. It's like the things that I've had to compromise on in my art, you might not need to compromise on because you have a different temperament, different time, different tools, you know, just a different biology, really, right? So a real roadmap is unfortunately my whole life. So it would be disingenuous of me to say if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you'd be able to draw like me. I'm a teacher, right? I do teach a lot of art. I do have a lot of practical advice that I have compiled into tutorials and stuff, right? So, and I have things of various levels, right? Well, obviously you can watch me draw tons of stuff for free on this channel, and I do talk about my techniques. I have a free video on Proco where I draw a harpy, where I give like basically a 30-minute drastically compressed version of what my process is when I do a drawing like this. So you could go check out that video on Proco. I have more focused tutorial videos on Proco as well. They're dense, they're like $25 each. And then if you're ready to go for a really deep dive, I've got my big course, Form from Imagination, which is not everything about how I draw, but it was my personal biggest hurdle, was how to do form from my head without reference. That's about as close to a roadmap as I can give, but again, that's for narrow topics. But when I teach students, I'm more focused on the first thing that I said. When I try to help people, I don't try to help them draw like me. I try to help them find out what it's going to take to draw like themselves, right? I try to help them realize what they actually like to do, what they don't like to do, and what's in the cards for them, given the amount of time that they have, what their goals are, what their taste is, things like that. That's much more important than trying to draw like anyone else in particular. It's always you'll get better faster if you focus on how do you want to draw, you know? What's going to be good for you? What aligns with your temperament, with your values, with the things that you want to do? Hi, Joey. Thank you, Joe. Nobody even cares about my background that it changed. I mean, everybody all they care about is the dog. She's out of frame. Oh, you can see you can see her body there. You have a perfectly good bed there. Why don't you lay in it? She's happy to be in here because she's been forbidden to be in here for like 2 weeks while I worked on this room. She kept trying to come in and be like, nope, get out. She walked out with her tail between her legs. Oh, good. Now she went back to her. See, she listened to me. That's a dog who obeys. That's a dog who obeys. I said, why don't you go lay in your bed? She did it. I like the paint box you have on the right. Is that gouache or oil? Those are oils. That's an oil painting box. That's I don't know if they make them anymore. That's an Easy L. That was the name of the product. I forget the name of the company that made them. I bought that long ago, but it's very good. It's held up. That's what I used to go out plein air painting in my college years all the time. Steven, the most important thing to remember about hum is that if you complain to the producers that the sound guy is a kook before they complain about the hum, you're all good. All right, I just got to do that. I just got to do that and I'll be all good. All good, baby. What's your favorite thing to draw? Cute anime girls, obviously. You know, Kaiwai, Desu, waifu. Of course. Obviously. I can't wait to stop drawing this freaky centaur. And just get back to drawing cute anime girls. Noah Bierklund says, hey, Steven, I just wanted to tell you that I commented on the chat like 10 months ago while working in a restaurant washing dishes, but now I'm watching your stream working in an art store selling paint, and that's awesome. Good steps on the path. Good steps. Hell yeah. That's a nice gig for an artist, just be around art supplies all day. I like that. I think, yeah, I tried to get a job at a Dick Blick once, and they did not. They did not try to give me a job at Dick Blick. To be fair, I don't think I did good on the interview. You know, they were like, all right, are you comfortable stacking boxes that weigh 20 pounds or more? And I was like, no, but I'm happy to critique the work of all the customers. And they were like, this isn't really a teaching position and you're 18 years old. And I was like, you could maybe give me a table in the back and tell the customers that if they want to buy anything, I have to confirm that they're a good artist first, because art materials, you know, they're not cheap and they're very, you know, taxing on the environment to make them. So we're not just going to sell them to dilettantes and hobbyists, right, Bill? And then Bill said, actually, dilettantes and hobbyists are most of our customers. And I said, what the fuck kind of store are you running? I didn't get the job. Their loss. Is the paper you're drawing on and blending similar to poster board in smoothness? It's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. I wouldn't say it's poster board smooth, but it's pretty smooth. Akabotan says, Steven, would you ever rank your freaky monsters on hotness and smash or pass? Not mine. No, that seems inappropriate. You know, I created them. Just feels icky, you know? It just feels gross. It's like I've had to create them from whole cloth. I can't really just like objectify them down to raw sexuality. It doesn't feel right. Monsters other people have made, sure. I mean, the Xenomorph, smash. That thing is, yeah. The monster from The Thing, all forms, smash. Noah says, I mostly sell spray paint to graffiti artists, so fairly big step up in prestige, I'd say. Nice. Nice, dude. Graffiti artists, they're keeping the art stores afloat. Are you at a local or like a chain? Like a Dick Blick or something like that? I miss locals. I got none left around here. I had a great local for a long time. It closed down. And then there was like a 2-year period where I had no local, and then another one opened up. Not as big as the other one, not as great, but a local art store, which I always prefer that because I like to go and feel the materials before I buy them. Check the pads, you know, instead of just getting bent ones from the internet. And then I moved. I don't really have anything around here. The nearest art store to me is pretty far and is really more of a craft store. Or local. There's a Michael's decently nearby, but that's a chain. The nearest local is mostly a craft store. I don't really have a lot of like more high-end art supplies, not a big selection. Steven, would you ever rate your family members or Why do I have to block my best friend? Like, why do I have to? Why? In the immortal words of Charlie Murphy, he's a habitual line stepper. Why do you have to be like that? I don't want to have to ban my best friend. Oh, good. And Rocky's just being sick with you. Disgusting. But you do say, I mean, close friends, I mean, that's different. But, I mean, obviously, you, Joe, all my guy friends, it's just like, absolutely would have slept with any of you guys. Without a doubt. But then we all had to go and get married. That was the stupidest thing we ever did. Hijo, I love you. Your show is very funny, but why do you have to say you'll sleep with your guy friends? Why do you have to say you'll sleep with Omar? Hijo, why? Noah says local. The owner is super chill. Stories attached to his house. Excellent. That's good. Keep them alive. Keep the local art stores alive. We need more of them. We need more of them. I think it's such a shame that all the local art stores are dead. Yan IG says, Steven, need to tell you, you will hear a lot about me in the future. So be grateful be grateful to have me here, mate. Don't forget my name. I feel in my blood that I will be a legend. That's good, Yan IG. That's good. Use that youthful energy. But remember, before you become a legend, you will have to defeat me. Rest assured, defeating me in one-on-one art combat is on the path to legend. Do you really think you can do it? I don't know. You still have time. You have some years to find out. Just know that when I meet you on that mountaintop, I will not hold back. Catherine says, I came here for an Elden Ring stream, but here I am hearing the art secrets of the universe instead. Yeah, the art secrets. Me just grimly saying like, yeah, all my guy friends, yeah, I'd sleep with them. What's the problem? That's the art secrets. Steven, how would you go about studying perspective if you were self-learning, or what thought process do you go through when studying any fundamentals? Okay, so for perspective in general, this might be a hot take, right? But perspective. Ask yourself seriously how much perspective you actually need, right? I talk about this on this channel all the time, but it's about your pictures. It's about your dream pictures, right? Your dream pictures, once you get straight on them, right? If you don't know what kind of pictures you want to make, that's like the first thing you need to figure out. But let's say you do know what kind of pictures you want to make, and they're totally organic landscapes. It's just fields of flowers, stones, things like that. There's not a straight line anywhere. You really don't need to know that much perspective. Not really. You really don't. You probably everything you need to know to make really good landscape paintings, all the technical, not the practice, but the technical information that you need to know from perspective, you could probably learn it all in 2 days, right? And just that's fine. You don't need to know anything else because it's irrelevant for your kinds of pictures. And just go with that. Trust your gut on that. If you need more, perspective in particular, I think you should get a teacher. You should find a perspective teacher. There are ways to learn it on your own, but perspective is such a pain in the ass. It's unbelievable. If you're trying to learn like real technical drafting, the difficulty with perspective is that you will get all the concepts. You'll have all the theorems. You'll have a book that says this is how you plot shadows, this is how you do your vanishing points, this is how you do your reverse vanishing points, this is how you do your measure bars, all this. It'll explain it for you. And then you'll go through and you'll do it, and you just won't know that you made a mistake. And you'll still get an end result that looks kind of right, but it's totally wrong, right? It's either right or it's wrong in perspective if you're really trying to learn the technicals, right? So this answer is totally wrong because it's not right, but it looks okay enough that you're just like, I think it's right. And you don't realize that the whole thing was doomed from the beginning because you made a mistake with how you projected a line in the first 5 minutes before you got 8 hours in to the drawing. Perspective is so annoying. It's so annoying. I've learned a lot of it. I learned it with Scott Robertson and Thomas Bertling, two people who literally wrote the book on perspective. They wrote how to draw. It's a huge pain in the ass, even with a teacher. So I would not, if you need technical perspective, if you make a real evaluation that you need to learn real perspective drafting for your kinds of pictures, I would not waste time learning it on your own. I would find a teacher. And it says, do you think cheaper screenless tablets are good enough to do digital art? Yes. Is the disconnecting, looking away from your drawing tool too much of a hindrance? It is not. Some of the best digital art ever has been done that way. I mean, great digital art has been done with a mouse. You're perfectly fine with a screenless tablet. Frequency Zero says, seeing you draw this kind of made me want to open my sketchbook and shore up some of the shading on a minotaur that I drew earlier today. I said it was done. I said I was done that it's nothing more out of this page, but good. I'm happy to inspire you to keep pushing. Go work up that Minotaur. Look, that's why I do these streams, man, because I know that when I go live, some people out there in the world, they're grabbing their sketchbook. There is a surprising amount of people who they're like, well, Steven's live. I got to draw. And that's, who am I to not add that to the world? That's a great responsibility I have. If I can help contribute more drawing to the world, come on, I got to do it. You see, there's Chady. Chady says, perfect timing, Steven. Going to create along with you, man. There you go. Constantina says, I remember as a kid, my mom would watch telenovelas, never really understood them, even the Spanish ones. As an adult, seeing a snippet of Indian soap operas on another level of what? Oh, I bet they're crazy. I bet they are indeed crazy. Seeking feedback on drawings in online space is actually incredibly difficult. Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be, but it is. You need to get into like classes and stuff. It needs to be in a structured environment. I don't think unstructured feedback is, well, it's certainly not easy to get, like just throwing art out there on Discord and stuff like that. Like people are really gonna not be inclined to give good feedback. But I also don't think it's desirable, really. I think feedback really needs to be given in context, and a lot of context, or else it can mess people up. So I do think for the most part, your main sources of feedback should be classes and a close group of people who you trust. You know, they don't have to be like teachers. It can be friends on a similar level, but your friends, they can know your context very well also. They kind of know what you're really going for, what your hopes are, what your dreams are, what your taste is. So they can give you appropriate feedback. You need those friends. What's up with your personal projects, Steven? They're going good. I have to focus on making my new course for a while. So that's taking up a lot of my time. But once I'm done with that, back to the personal projects. I mean, I'll show you, look. This is a graphic novel me and Joe are working on. This is the script. This is, I won't put it up under the good camera so that there's no spoilers, but this is all script. Joe, how much is it? Is it 300 pages of script? So yeah, the personal project is going. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, what is it? It's like, what is it, Joe? It's like 250 to 288 pages of script. And by the way, people, again, that's not world building. That's not notes. That's not this country uses this currency. That's not a Wikipedia page that you made about your world. That's 288 pages of shot for shot what people say. This is what's in the drawing. It's the drawing to the drawing to the drawing to the drawing to the drawing. It's 288 pages of script. We have another few hundred something of viz dev and notes and research and stuff like that. But please, people, for the love of God, you all hear me say this all the time. You got to do the thing. You have to make the actual story. It's very easy to find every way to procrastinate the actual thing. Make the thing. Make the actual thing. I mean, Jesus. Joe says, I think we have another 400 of viz dev and notes world building. Yeah. But we spent very little time. We spent very little time doing just notes or world building. That was a very compressed period. We were hungry to get to script right away, as fast as possible. Cynocephalus says, I love to see your detailed shading. It feels so effortless when you do it. Thank you. It's not effortless, but it is fun. It is fun. UFC commentator says, has anyone told you you look like Lou Diamond Phillips from the big hit 1988 starring Mark Wahlberg? No. I feel like I get compared to a different person every stream. Yesterday it was what was the one? Someone yesterday said I look like someone I'd never gotten that one before. Who was it? It was The Weeknd. Someone said I look like The Weeknd. I had more stubble yesterday, so... No, wait, that's not possible. In my head, I was like, I shaved this morning, right? No, I didn't shave, so I have more stubble today. But that was a new one on me. I don't think I look anything like The Weeknd. Never got that comparison before. Will we see something else about the Zapataverse you created with those detailed animatics and your thousands of Steven clones? Yeah, let's say yeah. I have it would not be a good look if anybody knew how much story and planning and like the whole, you would all be upset if you knew how much detail there was in my head about a universe that's all me. It would not be a good look. Don't tell my therapist. It's like, it's easy to write off Drawing Ascendant, The Eternal Chronicles of Stephen Zapata, Lasting Legacy 1, Epic 1, as a joke when it's just the one animatic. But if you knew how many epics there are, how many lasting legacies there are, and how much I know about everything that happens in each epoch and lasting legacy, you see, it's okay for me to speak about it as a generalization like that. Like, there's just enough distance that you guys are like, oh, Steven's not crazy. Haha, he's funny. If you knew, if you actually heard it or read it, you wouldn't like me. Like, you can't get that lost in a literal example of navel gazing. Like, that's not okay. You can't do that. Andrew says, yo, what's up, Steven? I just clocked out of work, did some shopping for dinner tonight. I'm also digging up my old sketchbook after taking a few weeks off from drawing. Nice. Get to drawing, Andrew. Or cook dinner, whatever it is that you've got next on your schedule. What are you huffing and puffing about? What, you don't like being in here all of a sudden? You've been banned from this room for 2 weeks, always trying to come in here. Now you're in here for an hour and you're like, man, this place sucks. I got a picture of her taking a piss the other day. And you know how on iPhone you can cut things out of pictures and make stickers out of them? I made a sticker out of her taking a piss. And the whole day, whenever my wife would text me, I'd immediately sticker it with the little dog pissing on the text. I cracked myself up. I mean, a lot of people hate themselves. I mean, I'm excellent company for myself, I have to say. I really get a real kick out of myself. She's like, man, would you stop it? Dog pissing on the text. She's like, get back to work. Dog pissing on the text. She probably forgot about it. She's probably like, he wouldn't keep doing it. He wouldn't keep doing the bit. If she texts me tonight when she's on her way home, I'm gonna piss on it. Now I'll make her mad. You guys got to do it. Next time you're walking your dog and they're taking a leak, snap a pic, turn it into a sticker. You're going to find a lot of utility out of this. Very useful sticker to have. I actually have plans to draw comics, and I have layouts drawn for a 50-page short story, but at this point, I'm having too many ideas to keep up with, so I've halted at a 20-page short to start. Hey, as long as you're doing it. As long as you're doing it. Something like a comic is a long-term project, so if you've got pages, you're in a good place. You are in a good place. I think I need to bring that leg out more. Like that. Just make the overlap clearer with the hand. What I should do is go get reference of a horse in this angle, but too lazy. Not a good artist. Bad guy, bad dude. Hello, Oslo. Do you have a favorite pencil? Yeah, this one. I've spent more time drawing with this one than any other. It's the 0.5 Pentel P205. It's an expensive pencil. It's about $980,000. This one was precision engineered by the precision engineers at Pentel. It's pretty good. You can't get this one. They made this one for me as part of an arms race with Rotring. But they have since made a toned down version of it. The Steven Zapata Signature Series 0.5 millimeter Pentel P205. You could get that at most office supply stores. And when you see this at an office supply store, these days it doesn't say Steven Zapata Signature Series because they failed to renew the license for that because I was demanding a $5 million licensing fee for every year, and they seem to think that that was too much. So it's the same thing. It is the Steven Zapata Signature 0.5 millimeter Pentel P205, but it just doesn't have my name on it until they pay me what I'm worth. But yeah, so you can just pick that up at any office supply store. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's not this one. It's not the $980,000 one, but it's the basics are there. The basics are there. It's still better than all other pencils, just for the record. Tet says, Steven, I like form, but I want to do comics. Whatever shall I do? Do a comic with form. Plenty of comics get pretty deep into form. Meta Barons. Anything anything illustrated by, what's his name? Ariel Olivetti, I think that's his name. Lot of rendering in Ariel's work. Who's that famous guy? There was a famous creepy comics guy from like the 70s. He did very like formy, like grotesque work, very colorful. He had like a very signature coloring process. He did stuff for like Heavy Metal magazine. God, what was his name? He's like a deep cut influence for a lot of people now, but lots of really great artists, comic artists, cite him as an influence. Oh, I'm completely blanking on his name. What was his name? I'm trying to look it up. Give me 1 second. Not Bernie Wrightson, though Bernie Wrightson is heavy on form. Mobius, no. Mobius I would not say is heavy on form. He's not in like rendering form. God, what was that guy's name? It's not a huge deal. I'm just fixating on it now because I haven't thought about him in a while. Barry Windsor Smith, no. He's a rare, not rare, but like a... Okay, I'm gonna... There it is. Richard Corben. That's his name. Richard Corben. Very, very form heavy, super high level of rendering. Much harder rendering than you would ever need to do today because he did it in a very difficult color separation process. But he did tons of comics. Covers and interiors. And he did very formy interiors as well. So you could do a very form-driven comic for sure. It popped up right when I was about to quit. I knew if I just scrolled the Google image search for Creepy Magazine, I'd bump into one by him. And fortunately, someone even put it in the YouTube thumbnail, so his name was just written big. Richard Corben. Oh, wow. Richard Corben did the Den storyline in heavy metal. I mean, he was very famous in his time. His work is not going to be everybody's cup of tea these days, but if you look through his work, if you like search through, look for some deep cut stuff on Pinterest, he has some genuinely great pieces. Really, really cool stuff. He is an influence for many great artists of today. In comics and stuff, they regularly cite him as having been a huge influence on them. He seems to be one of those artists that like, he's one of those ones that gets them young, you know, like as kids, people who would go on to be great artists see Richard Corben and be like, this is it, you know, just like the raw energy of it. And then, you know, the finesse of it. And then maybe they would sort of age out of it a bit, and then they'd come back and be like, no, that was the best stuff. It was Richard Corben. And if you look up the process that he used to make that stuff at the time, I found one blog post once a long time ago where they explained the process he would have to go through to prepare the plates for the separation process printing that he would do to get that effect. You read that, you'll know he was a true master. He really figured something out. You would never, I would never do that. You would never, we're all way too lazy to do any of that shit. He was a true master, yeah. I'm gonna open my window. Well, I was hoping there'd be a little coolness out there, but not really. Oh, it doesn't really feel like a breeze is coming through. Who's good girl? Who's good girl? Oslo is unloading on chat. I started drawing later in life and focused only on studies because I thought it was the smart way to improve. Now, years later, I'm out of touch with drawing. Yeah, we talk about that a lot on here. Can't work on personal stuff because I don't know what it even is. I don't even remember why I wanted to do art. And when I do draw, I can only do it by rushing through a piece. Otherwise, taking it slow makes me extremely anxious. Regardless, I can't work on anything longer than 2 hours and never did. Thank you and sorry for the spam. I'm just at the edge of not drawing for another year plus, but I can neither commit nor let go. The demon has you, my friend. The demon has you. I mean, don't let go. I mean, if you've got it in you, stick with it. Can be hard though, I know. It's hard. It's hard when you got stuck in study mode. But you can always reconnect with drawing. There's always the chance. There's always the possibility. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it happened to you. I mean, we talk about it all the time on here. People falling into that. But yeah. Like you, for some people, you know, they're in it. They're in the midst of it. They've already found themselves on the other side of years of not doing their own pieces. Well, you know what you would need to do to fix it. Just buckle down and do your own pieces. You say you don't even know what it means, but to some extent you must know. You must know what your own work would look like. I mean, when you were doing all those studies, you never had a feeling in your head of what they were meant to be applied to or anything like that? You got to go for it. You got to reconnect with the dream. So much of what it takes to keep our lives invigorated as we get older is just putting in the effort to reconnect with your dreams. It's hard work. It's vulnerable work. A lot of people will just be completely unwilling to do it because it's too vulnerable. You know, they don't want to admit what their dreams were, what their dreams are. They don't want people to see them go for those dreams. It's very difficult, but it's what we need to do. For a lot of us, it's the only way to keep ourselves from becoming super jaded. And that's the great gift that pursuing those dreams can give us. Reconnect with the dreams. Reconnect with the dreams. I feel like that's really characterized my past year or two. I feel like I've spent a lot of my brain power thinking about how to reconnect with my biggest goals, my largest value alignments, my dreams. Is it 9:41 p.m. on your side of the city? Yep. Yep. Well, now it's 9:42. The art police again? Yeah. Oh, they're coming. Put the pencil down! Put the pencil down. Put your hands on the back of your head. And put your stomach on the ground. Slowly. Slowly. Hands where I can see them. Hands where I can see them. Oh my God, he's not using a reference. Shoot! We have a suspect down. He wasn't using a reference. Over. At around 9:43 p.m., we entered the suspect's home. We had received reports that he was streaming live to the internet, drawing without a reference. When we entered his domicile, we can confirm that the reports were true. We found him surrounded by some sort of a rudimentary streaming setup. He had a camera. I'm sorry. He had a camera pointing at the drawing with no reference in sight. There was some YouTube analytics up on his monitor where reference should have been. Seemed about 100 people were watching him do this live. He turned around very quickly with a Pentel mechanical pencil in his hand. At that point, my partner and I decided to open fire. Days like this are difficult, but they're also a reminder of why we do the job. Is this universe where all the people look like Steven? No, that's this universe. A pump 'em full of lead says response. Re-all. The NYPD are after that giant rat Steven saw that one time. God, go get him, boys. Go get him, boys. He's a bad one. You gotta watch out for that guy. Hello, J-Pin Brooklyn. Drawing turning out good? Yeah, we're just sketching. Thank you, though. I'm gonna get arrested for doing stuff like this without reference, as we explained. Have Wagner Moira play me in the HBO documentary. By the way, are those oils back there? Yes, they are. I know you painted in traditional too. I only started again recently. I stuck that setup up in my room so that it would be there, so that I would do it, so that it would be easy to do it whenever I got the itch, you know, so I wouldn't have to set everything up. I used to oil paint a lot more many years ago, my college years, so over a decade now. But it was great for a while, for a few years. And then after a few years, I developed a allergy to the solvents. I would get big patches of like hives on my face. So I stopped. Yeah, I stopped. I did. I've always kept painting with like watercolor and gouache and casein, and I've tried all the other things, or most of the other materials. And so I kept painting traditional, but oil was really always what I was most interested in, just because a lot of my favorite art is done in oils. You know, I love the classics and things like that. But recently, just this past year, I was like, I'm going to just do it again, solvent free, see if that goes okay. So I just threw out all the solvents. I'm just painting straight with undiluted oil paint, using some like safflower oil and stuff like that to clean the brushes and as my medium when I do need to thin. And it's going fine. I haven't had any adverse reactions. I always knew I could try that. I just kept putting it off because the way that I painted when I was painting a lot back then, I used a lot of terp. For a while, I used pure turpentine. That wasn't what I was using when I developed the allergy. I was using Gamsol when I developed the allergy, which is like, you know, the least fumes. But even that, yeah, you know, I did a lot of thin painting with the washes and thinned paint and stuff like that. So I always resisted going solvent free because I was like, well, that's like a whole technique that I don't get to use. It's just like frustrating, you know, just on principle. I was like, fuck it, you know, I'll use other stuff. You know, imagine if there was a whole thing that pencil could do that I wasn't allowed to do, right? Like imagine there was something you could do with a pencil where you could get a big patch of square value and it was flat. And it was like everyone else could do it, but for some reason I couldn't. It'd be like, fuck pencil, right? I use something else. How come I don't get to do that? So just in my head, that's sort of how it felt to me. So I didn't use oils for a really long time, but I'm getting back into them now. Have you tried Holstein Duo water-soluble oils? They don't need chemical solvents. I have tried water-soluble oils. They are okay. People say they're the same. They're just not, are they? They're just not quite. Of course they aren't. You know, how could they be the same, you know? I have a whole set in one of the drawers. I tried them for a while. It's just not quite the same. It just is not quite the same. But I'm having a perfectly good time with the just painting completely solvent free. You know, it was just once I got that mental block out of my head and I just committed to having no solvents in the house, it's no problem really. You just need to paint slightly different. You got to think different, you know. I got used to oil painting outdoors. That's where I did most of my oil painting early. You know, I'd go out and do plein airs. And I got used to getting real washy because you got to cover a lot of space early, right? You don't have to paint that way if you're doing plein air, obviously. But that's how I painted when I did. I'd start very thinned out so that I could cover the canvas a bit. So I got used to that. You know, so it just requires a different thing, a different way of thinking about painting, different way of approaching, just going touch to touch mostly, just area to area to area, and just being a little slow about how you lay things out. But yeah, I'm not finding it that annoying. I think that my temperament and the way that I think about art has sort of caught up with that way of working. So I don't know. It feels promising to me. Mel says, I'd ride that horse. Pause. Pause. Jump on it, my pony. My saddle burning. Jump on it, my pony. Take my breath away. Make it last forever, babe. Can you guys see, or is my hair blocking when I get over this? Oh no, that's good. I moved my camera one notch over to the right. So now I can get a little closer to my drawings. I don't know why it never occurred to me to do that before, but I guess I couldn't do that when I have an 18 by 24 though. Because 18 by 24 takes up the whole area under my overhead rig. So it'd be sort of skewed. I bought some pork carnitas and now my car and house smell amazing. Yeah, real amazing, I bet. Reynaldo Dominguez says, I've decided that I'm totally fine if I am told that I'm not an earthling. Yeah, I mean, being an earthling is just like a construct, man. We're all from the universe, man. All the aliens are from the same place as we are, man. Right here. I say that in the pejorative pawhead voice, but I believe all that stuff. I know, I don't know, it's weird, you know. I know it's a silly way to think, I just still think that way. Don't know what to tell you. Sorry, not sorry. You guys know I'm not like the other girls, right? Are you reading any books these days? I'm listening to the audiobook of Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari right now. I'm just about done. I've only got like 20 minutes left. I thought it was great. It's a very popular, very famous book. It was on my list for a long time. I was kind of putting off reading it. Any non-art activity you recommend? Nope. Everything that isn't art is a waste of time. Certainly don't play sports. That's the worst thing you could do. There's a mosquito in here that's trying to get me. Oh, Two mold middle finger. Wait, no. Wait, is that a mosquito? Come here. What was I doing? Two mold middle finger says, you son of a... No, it's not a mosquito. It's walking. I can't really make it out. It's on my light. It's backlit, but it's walking. Mosquitoes can't walk. Mosquitoes can only fly from spot to spot. It's not a mosquito. Two mold middle finger says, your VODs really helped me on my career. That's great. Used to just do gestures 2 years straight. Those were painful years straight. Wow, that's a long time. Just recently did paintings, which is surprisingly fucking fun. Hell yeah. You see, people, the system works. You've got to do your art. Do not get stuck. Do not get stuck in exercise land. Do your art. Stephen, when drawing, I sense that I go to darker values too early. Should I make mid values first and build darkness from there? That's a hard thing to generalize about. I mean, if you're working in pencil, it's very rare. Some people go too dark, but most people don't. They can't. Like, graphite pencil really resists going dark. Oh no, this looks like he has like a little... I didn't realize that looked like he has like a weird little smile. Like a little emoji mouth. I'll have to sound like... You know, I have a half a horse body. Well, now I can't unsee it. Now I don't want to do the drawing anymore. Let's freaking stop. I should just lean into it and make it even worse. Now I see it. Yeah, there's no unseeing it. Once you see something like that. It looks like he has like big Homer Simpson lips. He's got like a little smile going. Well. You know, as we said, you know, get down on the fucking ground. That's what you get for drawing without a plan. Put your hands in the air and put the pencil down. Put your hands behind your back and lay down. Michael Vu says, first time catching a live of yours. Cool drawing you got there. Thank you. You guys are making a very good list of the things that you should not do and that you should focus on art instead of those things. Don't cook, don't get married, don't do exercise, don't do anything. Just draw. It's the only valid option. It's the only valid option, don't you understand? Okay. Now there's a lot of bugs. There's definitely a hole in my bug screen. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. The thing I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again. When it's on the road again. Like a bandit dipper, we go down the highway. Yeah, we're the best friends. And thinking that the world is rolling our way. And our way is on the road again. Bringing the ball on the road again. Gotta brush your teeth tonight. We do. I'm sorry, but it's true. The thing I love is making music with my brain. I get on the road again. I couldn't find the hole, but there's like 3 little gnats sitting on my light right now, so I know there's one. Steven, do you use liquid charcoal to get watercolor look to pencil? No. No, I don't. It's easier to get flat tones with liquid charcoal. I've tried like powdered graphite, powdered charcoal. I've never tried liquid charcoal, but I've tried liquid graphites. Both. Like there's graphite pencils that you can use that are water soluble after you put down the lines. And there's also just like pans of water soluble graphite you can use. And I've never been able to make them go down flat. For me, they always come out streaky. What's up?
Hey, are you still streaming?
I am, yeah. I'm live on the internet right now.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm on my way home.
Okay.
Pretty close.
You're what?
Pretty close.
Pretty close?
Yeah.
How long you think?
3 minutes?
Whoa, you are very close.
3 to 5?
Oh shit. Well, I've been going for a couple hours here, so
Okay.
I'll start signing off and we'll chit chat when you go home.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, love you. Bye. All right, everybody, I'm gonna start wrapping up. So lightning round, if you have any questions or anything like that before I go. I got a couple minutes here. Let's see who I can get to. We can hear everything? I know. I was just talking to D. Oh, watch out. The mic is picking up your phone combo. Oh, so you could hear my wife? That's cool. I don't have to worry about her. She has excellent operational security. I would never talk to Omar where you guys could hear him. My wife's OPSEC is perfect. Not Omar. How's the doggy doing? She good. She's just chilling. She's happy to be in here. This room has been off limits to her for a while. She's a good little girl. My dad sings that song all the time, Road Trips. It's the best road trip song. Everybody knows that. Don't open your window next time. It just gets so hot. I need summer to end. This New York summer has been brutal. You gonna be streaming again this week? I will next week. Not this weekend though. I'm gonna be away this weekend. I thought I'd get in one more. I did 3 this week. We're back, baby. We're back. Back. Baby, we're back. Yeah. I hurt myself. Thanks for reading through my barrage of texting. Hey, no problem. Thanks for hanging out and watching me draw a weird little centaur guy who wound up having a funny smiley face. Aka says, hi, Steve. Sorry this is a repost. I might have missed it. Thoughts on drawing fast and planning on the go? I feel like it's my rhythm. Pitfalls? What am I losing? Thanks. If you draw fast naturally, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't rush it. Some people try to be fast, like purposefully, and that's never a good idea. You naturally get quicker. The real source of speed for an artist is two things: knowing your process and knowing what you want. That's it. That is the real difference maker. All the tricks, shortcuts, drinking caffeine, sweating and anxietying yourself into mechanically drawing faster. Mechanically drawing faster, like trying to throw lines faster and stuff like that, it's an illusion. It's not real. You're not doing anything. You're not even getting a piece done, not even 1% faster by doing that. You're just making mistakes and messing up. Knowing your process, your personal process, which involves more than just mechanical steps, but like emotional steps and things like that. Knowing your process and knowing what you want, that will produce exponential, huge explosions of speed. It is those two things that are the only things that ever really produce results like, well, this kind of picture used to take me a month and now it only takes me a week. The only thing that produces that kind of speed improvement, knowing your process, knowing what you want. And the only way to get those things is to finish slowly. That's how you do it. To know your process, you need to actually spend time in every part of the process, not just sketching middle. You need to also spend time at the end, right? The end it takes up a huge percentage of the total time, the refinement. So when you get very used to everything that happens at the end, and also you produce beautiful finished pieces, seeing finished pieces come out of your body lets you know what you want. Once you've done a few, sometimes it just takes a magical few, a keystone few that really change your life. Then you narrow in on those and you're like, oh, I found it. That's what I want. That's what I want my pictures to look like. Then you'll be fast because you'll know, you're like, it's not a mystery. I know what a beautiful finished piece from me looks like, and I know how to get there. You do this, and then you're fast. Now you're fast. Joe says we can all earn these streams by liking vids and subscribing to the channel. That's true. Thank you, Joseph, my sweet friend and my moderator. All right, everybody. I'm going to run because my wife's going to get home any minute and the dog's going to bark and then I will have to mute my microphone. I won't be able to say bye. So I'm saying goodbye right now. Have a good weekend. Happy drawing. What else can I say? You get the course. I'm going to do another workshop soon. I haven't done one in a couple of years. I'm very excited for it. So watch out for information on that. I don't know. I'm thinking about trying to do it longer. The workshops I've done before have been 1 month, 4 weeks. I'm thinking of trying to do 8. I can do a more traditional class structure. I gotta go.